Will Smith does nothing but prove that he is the most degenerate person of all America. At the Oscars, leftists who celebrated Women's History Month can't even give me a definition on what a woman is. DeSantis is crushing poll numbers if he runs in the primary elections, and we will be talking about whether or not Donnie T. or Ron DeSantis is the best fit for the Republican nominee. And last but not least, we are going to be talking about the left's extremely backward logic when it comes to race. I'm your host, Bertrand-West, and let's get right into the video. Okay, Will Smith, the biggest cuck in America, got up and slapped Chris Rock for making a joke about his wife at the Oscars. Okay, as we have known for years, he has what's called an open relationship with his wife, Jada Smith, which means he allows his wife to participate in extramarital affairs, which means he's a cuck. That is the definition. And so, basically, at the Oscars, which is where people routinely make jokes about each other, she got offended, so Will Smith got up and slapped Chris Rock for no apparently good reason. Now, some people like to defend Will Smith, but he was clearly in the wrong. He slapped somebody because they made a joke he didn't like. And that is a stupid thing to do. It shouldn't happen. You see, I don't know if you know this, but there's this thing called freedom of speech, which means you don't just get to hit people because they say something that you don't like. That's called assault and battery. But with that, I want to ask you a question. Why are you not subscribed? You should hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss out on any future content. And while you're down subscribing, please hit the like button so my content can reach farther out there. Be sure to follow me and the rest of the Facts For You team on Instagram so you are never missing out on the hottest hotlines of the day. The number one LGBT author, Matt Walsh, is releasing a new book titled What is a Woman? He is sure to become the number one women's studies author as well. I have pre-ordered the book, and after I read it, I will deliver to you my expert analysis. The reason I bring this up is because I want to hover on left-wing gender ideology for a minute. The list of Democratic representatives who messaged about women or tweeted about women but would not define what a woman included Susie Lee of Nevada, Mike Levin of California, Mary Newman of Illinois, Sean Cashin of Illinois, Chris Pappas of New Hampshire, Lauren Underwood of Illinois, Dina Titus of Nevada, and Tom O'Halloran of Arizona. But I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with left-wing gender ideology. I think that should be very apparent at this moment of time. But I'm going to tell you why these people subscribe to it, why these people believe in it. And that is because if you are to take a generalized left-wing and right-wing view, generalized right-wing view would be hierarchy is essential, and so we need to do everything to make sure that the essential power structures of our civilization don't collapse. Now, by dominant structures, I don't mean a tyrannical structure. The system of dominance currently in most of our populations is not one of power, but of competence, and this is something that Jordan B. Peterson likes to point out to the left wing's dismay. And I don't know why they dismay it, because it seems self-evident. The generalized left-wing view is that when there's hierarchy, there's inequality, and so to eliminate inequality, we have to eliminate hierarchy. But this doesn't really work. Well, it can't work in the United States. So what do? They try to flip the hierarchy on its head. They can't. They have to flip it on its head, and they try to use tyranny to do that. But you see in places particularly like the USSR, they just use tyranny to try to eliminate hierarchy by killing anyone that is just a little bit better of everybody else. And that is the problem with this left-wing ideology. But what does this have to do with women? And it's everything. If they can eliminate the hierarchy by making everyone the same, and anybody being able to identify as anything else, so therefore you can say there is no difference anywhere. If anybody can identify as anything, then there is no difference in the hierarchy. You don't have to eliminate the hierarchy. You can just say everybody's the same. There is no hierarchy. Now, that is delusional, but I guess to them it seems to work. But but another thing, interestingly enough, if Ron DeSantis is the Republican nominee and Trump doesn't win, polls show he is almost certain to become president. I think he's polling 57% among most Democrats, 57%. So he's beating Joe Biden, he's beating Kamala, he's beating pretty much every other Democratic nominee. But I think if Trump wins, he will be the Republican nominee. Now, I'm not sure. I don't think the polls are so certain to be between Trump or Ron DeSantis. But I want to talk about who is better. Now, I think in terms of actual policy and getting things done, it's Ron DeSantis. So I think Ron DeSantis is an amazing politician. I think he's very good at being a politician. But Donald Trump kind of has this connection to a large percentage of the American population. The people who aren't into politics know Donald Trump. And that's why he won. He won because he didn't play politics, really. What he did is he played the media for fools, convinced his following that the media had a personal disdain for him, and then exploited that to win the presidency. And I think he made that, as a business person, right, that strategy is absolutely brilliant. He kind of played the election like he was trying to overtake another business, and that's why he won. So, I think Ron DeSantis probably has a better chance of winning the presidency, but I also think just out of absolute necessity, Democrats have a zero chance of winning the election. If someone was pointing a gun to my head and saying, which one do you want? You have to pick one right now. I'd probably have to say Ron DeSantis. Now, you may have a different opinion, and you'd be wrong. Last topic of today, not to harp on it for very long, but the left kind of has this backwards regressive logic when it comes to race, where diversity of race is more important than diversity of thought. And in fact, you can't even say diversity of thought is important to them. Actually, you can say that. It is important to them to make sure that everyone agrees with you. It's important enough to make sure there isn't any diversity of thought. Everyone has to agree with you. That is the standard. You can have free speech, but only if you agree with us. Martin Luther King in 1964, he said we could have a black president within 40 years. And he was right. Obama was elected 44 years after he said that. This was MLK preached diversity of thought. And honestly, I think we're at a point where within the next 10 years, we could probably see the left tearing out statues of Martin Luther King because they don't agree with diversity of thought. Everybody has to think the same. There is no room for disagreement. And do you know why? The reason why? It's because their entire ideology, their entire worldview are based on nothing but lies. And so if there's diversity of thought, if people aren't constantly agreeing with them, then some people will see through the cracks in their ideological system. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment down below your thoughts on today's stories. Follow all of our Instagrams, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for...
Soundstripe.